Welcome to the challenge round. Here's the breakdown. The first competitor, standing 5 feet 8 inches, weighing 225 pounds, Rich Gaspari. And his opponent, standing 5 feet 8 inches, weighing 235 pounds, Phil Hill. And we begin with the front relaxed position. Right into the chute, and I'm going to admit that it was quite difficult for me to find too many pictures of Phil Hill, especially in the 8 mandatory poses. But judging by the angle of this picture here, and I'm going to have to give Phil Hill just a slight advantage. I'd give him a full 2-point victory, but it's not enough really to go on, just judging by these 2 pictures here. I tried to pick one of Rich Gaspari that would match up. But anyway, enough about that. Let's have a look at the first pose. Here in the front lat spread, and it's plain to see that Phil Hill is more than just a stepping stone for Rich Gaspari, and is definitely going to be a threat to prevent Rich Gaspari to entering the gladiator round, because he's definitely, without a doubt, scoring a victory here in the front lat spread. Wow, very impressive. Anyway, let's have a look at the front double bicep pose. I honestly am fearing the amount of heat that I'm going to take if Phil Hill is to topple Rich Gaspari, because I'm going to have to be true to myself and true to my own judging techniques, and I'm going with Phil Hill on this one. I'm not going to spend too much time on explaining how he got the victory, but it's safe to say that the vacuum and the lags were definitely a determining factor. I will say Rich Gaspari's conditioning is out of sight here, and I could understand if somebody would pick him in this pose. His aesthetics are just fantastic. But anyway, let's have a look at the side tricep pose. I was actually unable to find a mandatory side tricep pose from Phil Hill, but I guess these 2 have agreed on this one. And guess what? Rich Gaspari finally gets a victory in this one. He pulls himself out of the fire. He nearly had 3 losses in a row, and it's very, very difficult to come back from that in any challenge rounds. But anyway, Rich Gaspari finally gets us a point here, or a 2-point victory here in the side tricep. So let's have a look at the side chest pose. And here's another one where we're going to have to go with a Photoshop, or a photo shoot, rather, picture, which is, we're trying to avoid Photoshops. And it's, I guess it's even playing ground here, even playing field for these 2 in these pictures. We're going to go with Rich Gaspari once again. So he's definitely making it into a nice little competition here. 2 victories here, 2 victories there. Nice, nice. Anyway, let's have these 2 gentlemen turn around and snap a rear double bicep pose. This is a first here at Mark's Max Muscle to display such a rear double bicep in the as a mandatory pose. And I'm going to allow it because it's pretty much comparable here. And besides the point, we're actually going to go with Phil Hill in the rear double bicep. I think his lower lat is just reaching down a little bit farther than Rich Gaspari's. And if you know me and the way I judge, I really appreciate that genetic quality in a bodybuilder, in particular in the rear lats and the rear double bicep poses. But anyway, let's have a look at the rear lat spread. Phil Hill is losing this one, and personally I believe it is because he really can't hit the shot properly, or he just didn't take the time to find out how to do it. He has more than enough meat back there, I think, to beat Rich Gaspari in this pose, but taking nothing away from Rich Gaspari, because he looks fantastic in this pose. So, Rich Gaspari, I believe now it is all tied up. If not, it is very close in this competition between these 2. So let's have these gentlemen turn back around and snap a most muscular pose. We're going to go with Rich Gaspari here, but just by a slight slight edge, because I believe that Phil Hill is winning in the bicep and tricep, in particular the tricep region here, and in the leg department as well. But the overall aesthetics are going to Rich Gaspari, and if you look at the chest here, he has a much wider clavicle, I believe. And in the shoulder department as well, Rich Gaspari's taking it. So in my opinion, the shoulders and the chest are the real two dominant muscles of this pose. But having said that, let's have a look at the ab and thigh. And this is the last final pose of this very closely contested matchup. This was a very difficult decision for me to make. I am leaning towards Rich Gaspari just slightly, I will say. Very, very, very close. To base it on aesthetics, and I personally like the ab development of Rich Gaspari just a little bit better. Although I will say I appreciate Phil Hill's set of abs as well, and the massive thigh here of Phil Hill's size-wise dominating. But Rich Gaspari has some striations there and some cuts. There's proof of the conditioning. Is just going to score out just a slight edge. And I will say slight, because when you look at the arms here, Phil Hill is dominating. But I mean, the arms are really not that much of a category here in the ab and thigh. But anyway, having said that, here's your winner of this fantastic challenge round, Rich Gaspari! Rich Gaspari will, of course, now await the challenge of another challenge round winner to do battle in the gladiator round.